Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. Today, we have a special guest with us. She's a health and wellness fitness coach. She also teaches boxing classes, about to get her bachelor's. So, everyone, let's welcome Marissa.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me today.
So, I know you're majoring in behavioral science, right?
Yes.
So, how is that going?
It's going great. I actually graduate this April 28th.
How exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
And what do you plan to do after you graduate?
Wow, there's so many things that I want to do, I want to continue my fitness journey for sure. But as well, I will be applying to grad school. So naturopathic medicine is the route that I'm taking.
Nice. Maybe you can explain it to the listeners a little bit about what is naturopathic medicine.
Yeah, so naturopathic medicine, what really stood out to me in this program is that they focus on finding the root cause of an illness versus, conventional medicine. They focus more on the symptoms versus, finding the root cause. So that's what really stood out to me, is finding the root cause of an illness.
And I think that's amazing because I feel like there's a lot of things that contribute to illnesses, and I feel like it has to do hand in hand with our products. It's the products we use that over time can damage our body.
Yeah.
So that's I love how it's connected.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons why I actually chose this field of study is because of personal experience. So I had 2 family members who passed away of cancer, and so I've always had these bold questions. What could have they done to live a longer, healthier life? Or what could have the professional people in the field done to help them live, a healthier, longer life?
Yeah.
And so I've always had those questions, and I've always thought that I wanted to become a registered nurse. That's a typical American student,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a bad route to go.
Yeah.
But what I found just doing research is I came across naturopathic medicine. And so the key terms that stood out to me were preventative care and finding the root cause. So that's what really stood out to me. And so later down the line, when I kept doing research, went to business conferences, I came across a couple of professionals, even the CEO of naturopathic medicine.
Oh, wow.
She's a woman. So
Wow.
I'm all about woman empowerment.
Yeah.
So that stood more out to me, and that's what made me want to pursue this career.
You will basically be a doctor who provides organic, natural medicine.
Well,
right?
what I'm hoping, and what many other professionals are hoping in the future, is combining conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Because I truly believe that for one person, they may, what could be their healing may be someone else's poison. So I feel like combining those two, alternative medicine and conventional medicine, together is just, it's going to be a good way to serve others, and their health, their overall well-being, because again, naturopathic medicine, they don't just focus on one part of a human, they focus on 3 parts: the mind, body, and spirit. Nice. And how that all works together. Yeah. And I truly believe that both conventional and alternative medicine can help.
That's amazing. So what's an example of alternative medicine?
An example, so my grandma, she currently suffers from ulcerative colitis, and I did an internship last year with Pamela Schwartz. I came across her. She actually called me to do an internship opportunity, and then when I went for my interview, I got to know Pamela Schwartz a lot more.
Wow.
And within that interview, I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but she told me that she had ulcerative colitis, and she got cured from ulcerative colitis. And she's been cured from that disease, Crohn's disease, for 20 years.
Wow.
Right? And so that made me open my eyes and my perspective about life. Maybe it's not just conventional medicine, it could also be non-traditional medicine that can help heal us. So my grandma, when she went to go see the doctors, they told her, hey, in 10 years from now, you're going to have cancer. Or, there's no cure for this disease. And so, just hearing that from my grandma and just seeing how she lives her life it saddens me, because I'm like, no, there's much more to this. There is a way.
Yeah.
And so when I came across Pamela Schwartz within that interview, just opened my eyes, my perspective, and that kind of sparked, again, my interest in naturopathic medicine. If she can get cured from it, my grandma and many others who also suffer from this could also get cured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like there is a cure for everything. And I know a lot of people say, like, there's no cure. There's no cure for this, for that. But I feel like sometimes there's even like false diagnosis. There's people who like Pamela Schwartz. So for example, her, like, they say there's no cure for that it's gonna get worse and you'll get this and that.
Yeah.
But she got rid of it,
Yeah.
And I've read so many stories when people, they heal from cancer, that they heal from things like HPV. They say that, that's uncurable and that it'll turn to cervical cancer. But there's women out there that have, gotten rid of it with natural ways and things like that. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the product? You got a Moon Time, right?
Yeah.
So what did you think? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, this would actually be one of my first subscriptions. That's actually organic, and I'm a huge advocate for, organic products, natural products. So as I was using the product, I was like, well, first of all, it's comfortable. That's key, we want to be comfortable. I did notice that I didn't get any discharge, unlike another product that I would use. Yeah. So I know that's a bonus, because that's something that I was kind of having problems with. I remember asking my sister as well, because we use the same brand of pads. And so I had asked her the same thing. I'm like, hey, do you ever get discharge, like abnormal discharge, meaning like, it's normal to get discharged maybe like a few days or a few weeks after, like, your period. But if it prolongs after a week or two, I would consider that abnormal.
Yeah.
And so I had to ask my sister that question, and she also said, yeah, that she's experienced, abnormal discharge.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, well, like, maybe this is not normal, And so when I was relatable with that with my sister, I just said it's not normal, because it's abnormal.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. What about the wipes? They're made from only oil, like they're alcohol free. I personally love the wipes, but what are your thoughts on the wipes?
Well, it's really nice. I mean, it keeps it nice and clean, and that's what I really like about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the key, just keeping clean. Natural. And that's mainly our goal also with the box, is just to educate and kind of because it is a tricky time, like our period is a uncomfortable time when we're kind of like, okay, we're going through this again. I know that's how I feel when I'm on it. I'm just like, okay, but I don't let it stop me or anything. We just got to keep going. Yeah. But I feel like with this box, it really helps just ease that home week.
Yeah, and like you said, we're just like always on the go, and sometimes we just grab those pads that may not be beneficial to us. So having the subscription, in a sense, it's going to be there, it's a subscription. And and if, like, for me, because I'm always on the go, work, school, extracurricular activities, hobbies, I can just grab my pad and I know I'm safe, right?
Yes, it gives that peace of mind. Well, I'm so happy you like it. So what are your periods like? Like, do you get cramps or heavy flow, or do you crave chocolate? Like, what is it like for you?
That part just stood out to me. Yeah, recently, like, I started craving like dark chocolate, but normally, like, my periods, they last maybe up to a week. And
that's like me,
in the beginning it could be heavy, then towards the end it kind of like gets lighter. So
same with me. I feel like that's like what the average period is like, and so that's why we try to incorporate so many products so that nobody runs out.
Even the panty liners, I like that.
Yes, those panty liners, I love those too. Just to have, you never in my bag, like you never know. So that is awesome. And so what was your first period like? Like, tell me your period story, when you found out, how you found out, where you found out.
I still remember this.
Yeah.
I remember I was laying down on my bed, and I was in middle school, And for some reason, I just wasn't feeling myself. And it was late at night. So I went to the restroom and I saw just a little tiny red dot on my underwear. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, like, I have blood coming out of me. And so
what did she
and then
say?
she didn't give me a whole talk. She just said it's your period, this is, normal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever recall like my mom discussing like, okay, this is what to expect. This is how you could help decrease the pain. She never went in depth, which is fine because I kind of learned that as I went.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of my experience. At first I was like, what is this? And then my mom kind of, toned it down and she was like, this is your period. Brief information about the period.
Yeah.
And so it kind of just went from there.
But it's funny you say that because a lot of women never had anybody really talk them through, like how you said, like how to deal with the pain or how to dispose of it, wrap it up. Like, how did you learn that on your own?
It kind of came natural.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my mom would buy my pads at the time, and I kind of would just use them until like I was done with my period. And then as I got older, you start hearing about these products that you can start using, like to like decrease the smell, which is not something that I experienced until I got older. So like, like wipes,
You
just
learned it on your
keeping
own.
up the feminine hygiene, stuff like that. But it kind of just came natural.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So do you get like bad cramps on your period? Or?
Yeah, especially like the beginning of my period, when it's really heavy. It can be very painful, just like the cramps are there. Sometimes like I get a headache. And sometimes I'm just not feeling myself.
Yeah.
So what I like to do, this is just something that works for me. I would recommend it too. Drink some hot water. Sometimes I like my appetite increases like a week before or 2 weeks before my period. So like I like to prepare myself for when the period actually comes. So maybe just eating like a little bit more healthier or like drinking hot water late at night, so that way when the period comes it's not as intense. So like drinking hot water helps me, or just using like a heat pad depending on how severe the pain is.
This is why we provide teas in our box, because it's all natural, caffeine free, and hot water is proven to like help relax the muscles and help with aches and pains and things like that. And then in the heating pad we have our heart, which I know you love. You're like so amazed.
I know, I'm amazed by you. Just press the little button and it just whoop.
That's how it is. And it's like instant and reusable. And when the pain is really bad, it does help a lot.
It does. I do use it too, like after I get out from the gym, it kind of like relaxes the muscles. So I don't even, it's like multi-purpose use.
Yes, definitely. Because sometimes you are sore and you put it, or even on your neck, like I'll put it with oil and like I'll just like massage my neck a little bit. So it is multi-use. So that is true, not just for cramps, but heat is generally for inflammation, right?
Yeah. So it helps me like when I do some like glute workouts, just like place it there for a little while, or just like your thighs, like it really, I feel a lot better like when I wake up in the morning. Just decreases like the pain.
That is so true. Well, thank you so much for being here, Marissa, and just talking to all of our listeners and giving your perspective, your experience, your point of view.
No, thank you for having me, Melissa. Like I really appreciate your time as well.
You'll have to be back. And I just wish you the best of luck in your journey and finishing school and everything. So you'll have to be back and give us more tips, more tricks.
Oh,
more
I would
guidance.
love to.
Well, thank you so much. So make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. She's making one today. So I'll have to, I'll have
link
to
that up there.
So it'll be here. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and listen to this podcast on Spotify. It is also available on Apple Podcast and Google and more. So stay tuned for our next video, and make sure you like and subscribe and share if you feel like this information will help anybody. And thank you, Marissa.
Thank you.
Oh.